Hello my loves! Thank you so much for tuning back into another video. I hope that you had a restful weekend, and if you did not, it's okay. Like, I know I talked about it in my last video, but we are human, we are learning and growing and evolving, and we have another week ahead to try to implement some of those rest tactics, so that is totally okay. Let's just breathe and let it be and move forward. Anyway, on to today's topic. So today I want to talk about gratitude. Now, I know people talk about having an attitude of gratitude, but honestly, like, what even is that? So my definition of gratitude is having an aura and an energy of being thankful and appreciative of the things that you have in your life. And I know that it sometimes is not a very easy tool to implement, but I want to talk about today the three, reasons why gratitude is the best possible tool that you could use for yourself. So number one is that gratitude puts things in perspective. So recently I've been watching this series on YouTube called Born Different. And watching this series has really helped put things into perspective for me, because there are people out there that are living with different conditions. Like, there are these twins, conjoined twins, that have the same pair of legs but different torsos, and then there's this other girl who has a skin condition where she blisters and has bandages and all that. And there are a lot more cases out there of people that have different conditions and live different lives, and when I look at that, it really puts things into perspective for me and makes me realize how blessed I actually am to have the life that I do, even when there are minor inconveniences and I complain about them all the time. But when I look at these people that are living other lives, it makes me feel grateful for what I have. So that's number one, perspective. Number two is gratitude gets you out of your head and into the present moment, where you can start to actually recognize what you have. And I feel like how this manifests for me is I always get in my head about what I don't have and what I want to have and how it's not currently here. But when I focus on gratitude, it grounds me and makes me recognize, oh wow, like there are things in my life that other people probably look at me and they want, but I, don't really recognize how amazing it is to have that in my life. So that's number two. Getting out of your head and into the present moment. One was perspective. And number three is that gratitude makes you more appreciative and helps you hone in on the things that you have versus what you don't. And this is like a really, really big one for me, because I feel like I, along with probably somebody else out there, I hope, takes things for granted. I think when we are used to the way things are, we just kind of become comfortable and sit back and relax, and we don't really recognize how blessed we are to have certain things. Like, okay, for example, I've always complained about how I'm really tall. I didn't really like it because I felt like the oddball growing up, because I was always taller than everybody else. But everyone always liked my height and they wished that I had my height. And so now I've learned to appreciate my height and my body type and the way that I look, instead of dreading it all the time. Another thing that I'm trying to think of right now, singing. Sometimes I take that for granted. Like, oh, I've been able to sing since I was a kid, and sometimes I don't really recognize how amazing it is to be able to do that, because I constantly compare myself to other people who probably just have had more practice, or have put more focus in on their craft. But it's really awesome that I'm able to do that. So there's some of these examples, and I'm sure that you have your own things that you take for granted all the time, but when you take a step back and focus on gratitude, you recognize they're actually really amazing that you're able to do. So I hope that this gives you some things to think about. Number one, perspective. Number two, getting out of your head and into the present moment. Number three, focusing in on the things that you appreciate and the things that you might take for granted. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you something to think about. I hope you have an amazing week, and until next time, bye.